Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the price of Ethereum is playing out this bearish price action that I've been warning you about for the last 2 days, because obviously we were seeing a few bearish signals here in the somewhat shorter term. And just giving you a quick recap, first of all, we had this bearish divergence, which basically means we're losing some of this bullish momentum. And these bearish divergences on the 12-hour time frame usually take at least a few days, if not 1 to 2 weeks, to actually play out. And while we're here on the 12-hour Ethereum chart, looking in the MACD, we are currently seeing a slight increase in the bearish momentum. And so right now, if you're looking at all 3 of these indicators, talking about the parabolic stopper inverse indicator in the red, the RSI and the MACD, all 3 of these indicators are pointing in the bearish direction. And the last couple times that happened was back at the start of March and also during the middle of February. And if you're looking at those previous examples, basically we saw around 1 week worth of bearish price action in the March example and around 2 weeks worth of bearish price action in the February example. And obviously I do not expect these previous corrections to play out the exact same again, but we can use these previous examples as points of reference for what we could expect moving forward, which basically means 1 to 2 weeks worth of bearish price action might be a likely scenario moving forward according to previous price history. And on top of seeing that bearish divergence over the past few days, we were also running into this massive range of resistance at the golden pocket, which was another reason on the chart as to why I was starting to flip more bearish in the shorter term for Ethereum over the past 2 days. And as for some levels of support, we're currently running into a possible level of support here, sitting at around 3.1k to 3.2k, and anything below that level of support, I'll be looking towards these previous points of resistance, which are coming in at around $3,000 per Ethereum. But with the recent pullback in the price of Ethereum, I found something very interesting, which is actually a fractal from what we're seeing right now compared to what we saw back in August last year. First of all, if you're looking in the price action itself, we went from an extremely bearish time into an extremely bullish time back in the middle of last year leading into August. And over the past few months, we have been experiencing a somewhat similar thing where we went from a very bearish time into quite a bullish time over the past 3 weeks. But then what we saw in August last year was a bearish divergence on the daily time frame. And we also saw a bearish cross in the daily Ethereum MACD, which is exactly what we are seeing right now across all of these indicators. And if you look at what happened to the Ethereum price back then, basically we saw a decent pullback in the price of Ethereum, but then we saw a rebound and essentially entered into a sideways consolidation. And what is very interesting is if you measure the size of that pullback in the price of Ethereum back in August, after we saw that bearish divergence, that turned out to be around an 11.5% pullback. And if you measure the size of the most recent pullback in the price of Ethereum from top to bottom so far, that has been around an 11% pullback, give or take. Now, obviously that can change, but as of right now, that is the case. So there's definitely a lot of similarities between what we're seeing right now and what we saw back in August last year, which provides some hope for the bulls out there, because obviously if we continue to play out this fractal, we're basically just in a larger sideways consolidation range rather than potentially flipping overly bearish here. But with that being said, we still have some other important signals to pay attention to. For example, here on the 3-day Ethereum chart, the RSI on this chart is currently getting rejected from this massive line of resistance that has been forming ever since the beginning of last year. And if you're looking at the last few times the RSI has gotten a rejection from this line of resistance, that has resulted in some more bearish price action for Ethereum. But there's a couple important points to keep in mind here. First of all, this bearish signal doesn't tell us exactly how much bearish price action we'll see, because for example, if you're looking at what we saw in September last year, that was nowhere near as much bearish price action as what we saw between November and January. And on top of that, if you're looking at where the 3-day Ethereum RSI was actually sitting during those previous examples, technically speaking, we had more room to the downside, because in all 3 of those previous examples, we were sitting in overbought territories on the 3-day time frame, whereas recently we did not reach into overbought territories on this 3-day chart, which means we don't have as much room to the downside compared to what we've seen in these previous examples. And just giving you a quick update on the Bitcoin dominance, here we are on the daily time frame, and we are still seeing this bounce from that massive level of support that I've been talking about for quite a few days now. And so as I have mentioned over the past couple of days, having this bounce here is basically putting an end to this altcoin season that we've been in for the past few weeks. And obviously during that time period, even though it wasn't a long altcoin season, we still saw some crazy gains in quite a lot of altcoins. But right now, as the Bitcoin dominance is bouncing, that just basically means Bitcoin is doing better than altcoins on average. So essentially, during this pullback in the crypto market, Bitcoin is not losing as much as a lot of altcoins out there. But obviously, I'll be sure to update you if anything changes here. And if you want to get those updates in real time, even before I post these videos, then make sure to follow me over on Twitter, and the link to my only official Twitter account account is in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. But anyway, if you found this video useful or simply enjoyed this, please make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. And believe it or not, but you can actually continue to make profits in crypto even when prices are going down. And if you want to know exactly how to do that, then make sure to click on one of these videos popping up right here on your screen. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.